Okay, take a look at brand new video where I talk about the Republicans' best case scenario in 2022. This is going to be a relatively long video, so I'm going to get started right now. Starting with the Senate elections, I believe that the Republicans will win the Senate, of course, but in their best case scenario, by how much, and what are the margins from every single state. Let's start with filling in the safe Republican states. I don't think much of them are too surprising. Honestly, even in not a best case scenario, they're probably going to win these states by safe margins. Iowa, because Chuck Grassley's running, and you can see this map. You can honestly make an argument for Florida for being safe because Marco Rubio is likely going to have a very strong election, and I do believe he's going to win by a safe margin in this best case scenario. For the Democrats, they honestly don't have much states going for them. They don't have Washington with Patty Murray. They're probably not going to have her. If we look at some other races here, I think most of these races will be considered safe for the Democrats in the safe category. Oregon, California, the state of New York, Connecticut, Vermont, and the state of Maryland. I believe those states will be safe for the Democrats. As well as that state of Hawaii, I almost forgot it. So, for the likely states for the Republican Party, I believe that leaves Ohio, North Carolina, and Wisconsin to be in the likely Republican column at this point in time. For the likely Democratic states, I don't think they're too surprising. Washington and the state of Illinois in this scenario would be a likely state for the Democrats. For the lean Republican states, I believe that the majority of the remaining states could be lean for Republicans, including Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and the state of New Hampshire. I believe these states will all be considered lean. The only state I'm a little bit conflicted about is New Hampshire, with Chris Sununu and Kelly Ayotte out of the race. But I think in a best case scenario, maybe Chris Sununu could run and save the Republicans in the state of New Hampshire. While for the final state of Colorado, I'm quite conflicted on who I'll give this race to. Michael Bennet is not the strongest incumbent. He only won his race by 5 points, and he almost lost Jefferson and Fort Collins. But in the end, though, Colorado is Colorado, but yeah, I'm really conflicted. But in the best case scenario, I'll just give it to the Republicans by a tilt margin. Now, if we look at the governor's races here, if we look at some of these races, I believe that most of these races are going to be incontentious because there's honestly just a few governorships that are not held in a midterm 2022, 2026. You get the point here, including Washington, Utah, Montana, North Dakota, Missouri, Louisiana, Mississippi, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, North Carolina, and Delaware. So let's fill in the map here. For the safe Republican states, I don't think any of these are too surprising. I still don't see Kansas being safe because it does have a Republican incumbent. Alaska's probably going to safe. South Carolina, I can see in the best case scenario be safe. Massachusetts, in the best case scenario, is safe. Wait a minute, Massachusetts though, Charlie Baker is not running for re-election. Vermont, in the best case scenario, safe, of course, and New Hampshire in the safe Republican column. Now, I think that's going to wrap it up for the safe states. Now let's go to the Democrats' safe states. California, California could be arguably not in the safe column. Hawaii, I still see Maryland. Actually, over retiring Larry Hogan could also be more competitive. Let's just get New Jersey and Virginia out of the way here. The state of... Actually, I think Hawaii's the only state I'm comfortably giving to Democrats by a safe margin. Now let's go to likely Democratic states because holy crap, there's a lot. California, Maryland, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, Illinois, and I think that's it. Honestly, actually I could give Colorado as likely for Democrats, but you can see my margins in the description down below. Anyways, those are likely states for the Democratic Party. For Republicans, I think they're going to easily win the Governors Association with these projections. Kansas, Texas, Florida, Ohio, Iowa, and I believe that's it. With the Republicans winning actually 25 races, not exactly retaining the governorships, but I believe that they're going to easily win it in this scenario. For lean Democratic states, at this point, probably Oregon, New Mexico, and probably Connecticut at this point. So, those are the lean states for Democrats. For the Republicans, probably Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. I'm leaning all of them towards the Republicans. Georgia with Stacey Abrams. Arizona with the Republicans. And for best case scenario, possibly Nevada, but I'm going to give the Democrats Minnesota. I don't think that's going to flip, but for the two remaining states, I believe the Republicans have a chance, and that's going to end the map. Now, for the House elections, they're interesting because in the 2022 elections, the Democrats, the redistricting has not occurred in all of the states. There's only 165 state seats out of the 435 that are decided, and Georgia's not even decided anyway. I don't know why they have it as gray, but these are ratings from the 2022 consensus. I'm going to add in total. I'm not going to be actually filling this map because I think this is a little bit confusing. Instead, I'll just be going with the 2020 House elections. These were my previous projections, but in a best case scenario, Republicans could definitely flip quite a few races. Alabama, nothing to talk about there. Alaska can give it as safe in a best case scenario. Arizona probably give the Republicans Arizona's first by lead margin. I'll also narrow down Arizona's second. Arkansas, I can see French Hill winning by safe margin. California, that's quite interesting here. I believe that, I think these projections are pretty good. At this point in time, I think the 4th district could be safe. Oh, no, the 4th district could be safe, and then the 10th district could be more competitive overall. And then we look at Colorado. Yeah, that's pretty good. I believe they have drawn Ed Plummer in a pretty competitive district. I'll give that as lean for the Democrats. We look at Connecticut. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to get. If we look at the Connecticut House elections, I'm just going to have to take a look at it. I think County in this scenario could win by less of a margin. Again, the ads are just appearing. Delaware give it as likely, but just ignore them. I can't do anything to help. I think the 27th will be lean Republican in this scenario. Charlie Crist could actually lose re-election in this scenario. If we look at the House elections in 2020, just give me a chance to scroll down. I think that's pretty good at this point. Did I fill in the wrong seat though for the Democrats? Oh, I did not, so that's pretty good. Georgia, I believe that Lucy McBath probably gets a lead margin, while Rob Woodall's seat, which is currently held by the Democrats, I believe will tilt towards the Republicans. And I think that's it. Hawaii, nothing there. Idaho, nothing there. Illinois. I think this map is pretty good. I could tilt this district, only a tilt towards the Democrats, but that doesn't make... Okay, so Seton Caston probably gets a tilt seat. The seat's still safe, though. Yeah, so that's probably going to be the best map here for Republicans. Indiana, the 5th district, I probably see as maybe as safe, I'd say likely for the best scenario for the Republicans. In the best case scenario for the Republicans in the state of Iowa, I'm going to make these seats more solid. Kansas, in a best case scenario, I'm going to only give the third seat as lean for Sharice Davids. Steve Hawkins probably wins the seat safe. Kentucky, nothing really there. Louisiana, nothing really there, Maine. Best case scenario, likely seat for the 2nd district, I give it as likely. Maryland, nothing really there. I can possibly see the 6th district clearing up. I don't see anything out of Massachusetts. Michigan, honestly, Daniel Kinley. Let's just go to the House elections because I can't remember everything out of pure memory. Michigan's 5th. I honestly see Haley Stevens losing re-election. At this point in time, with this map here, I think the 5th district will be a lead for Republicans. The 5th district may narrow down to a lead margin for Democrats, and that's probably what's going to happen. In the best case scenario, Minnesota can tilt the 2nd towards the Republicans and lean the 1st towards the Republicans, likely make the other district. Missouri, I think that's the best I can do for Missouri. Montana, probably give it as safe at this point in time with a best case scenario. Nebraska, yeah, that's probably going to happen. What's going to happen? The 4th, in a best case scenario, I'm going to give the 3rd lean towards the Republicans and the 4th district a tilt towards the Republicans. New Hampshire, nothing really there. I can see a possible Ann Custer getting more competitive, but yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. This is probably the best case scenario for the Democrats as well in the state. In the state of New Mexico, I could possibly see one of the districts narrowing down. Yeah, I see that both of these districts in a best case scenario goes to Republicans by a likely margin. So yeah, I'm going to narrow both of those races down. Oh, that's a mistake on my behalf. Okay, so New York, I think we have a few things to talk about here. Honestly, New York's districts are drawn pretty safe for the Democrats, so it's hard to see a lot of flips. Cat code, let me see. So let's start with New York City. I think both of these races more competitive. Yeah, those races are just I think, let me see. So in this map, I think the best case scenario, I can give this race as likely towards the Republicans. John Katko probably wins by a safe margin. We've seen in 2020 the race is not flippable, honestly. North Carolina, I think the 1st district goes lean in this scenario. But other than that, this map is relatively good. I think there might be a few exceptions. In these races, I think, yeah, they're actually all pretty solid at this point. I could possibly see this district 9th going safe, but honestly, it's probably not going to happen. North Dakota, no. Ohio, Tim Ryan can actually lose a seat, even without redistricting, and then the 1st goes likely. The 12th probably goes safe at this point for best case scenario. Oklahoma, nothing out of Oklahoma. Oregon, I can see the 5th narrowing down, but honestly, that's it. Pennsylvania, yeah, PA probably goes. The 8 probably goes lean, and then if we look at the House elections, wait a minute, what state is it again? I actually forgot what state it is. Okay, Pennsylvania, I got entirely wrong, actually. So I think at this point in time, why am I keep messing it up? Probably the 16 safe. The 17 could be likely. I think the 1st district could be likely. Susan Wyatt probably wins by tilt margin. So that's probably what's going to be the best case scenario for the Republicans in Pennsylvania. South Carolina, nothing out of there. North Dakota, Tennessee, Texas. Now, Texas, we do have some stuff to talk about. So let's go to Dallas, first of all. Dallas, I think this district, Colin Allred probably wins by a tilt margin. While this district, Kenny Marshall, was this district was not expected to go to Van Dorn, but it actually did, so too bad for the Democrats. Anyways, in Houston, I think Lizzie Fletcher probably wins by a tilt margin. There's going to be some kind of suburban reversion, in my opinion, and then honestly, that's probably what's going to happen. Utah, you don't have anything out of Utah, Vermont, Washington. Let's go to Virginia first. I think that's the best case scenario already. Let's just recap. I can tilt that towards the Republicans. This will actually flip in 2018 for the Democrats. West Virginia, Wisconsin. I could see Ron seat being likely at this point in time. And then Wyoming. So yeah, that's it. So this is the map for the Republicans, 234 to 201. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.